Bom, vai. Só esticar o braço, tá? Isso. Isso. Bom. Eu queria fazer o seguinte, ó. Começar por aqui, com o pessoal de baixo. Quando eu chegar no final, eu queria voltar com o pessoal do meio, tá? Quando eu chegar aqui, com o pessoal lá de cima, tá? Vai. Quem quiser puxar a roupa, pode puxar, tá? Vai. Bom. Isso, bom. Vai, aqui em cima, aqui no meio, vai. Só esticar o braço pra mim tá bom. Isso. Bom, pra mim, vai, isso. Agora em cima, vai. Pra mim, isso. Prepara a luz pra mim. Vamos todo mundo agora? Começando daqui, vai. Pra mim, braço. Só esticar o braço, isso. Vai. Bom. Prepara o som. Solta.
I definitely left my house somewhere between 9:40 and 9:45. I don't know exactly what time. I know that I left at the clock and it was 9:42. And then I had to get my bag and I stood around the kitchen for a few minutes and then I left. So somewhere between 9:40 got to the corner and I turned right. And I remember that there was a man who was walking, and we were walking on the same trajectory. Yeah, so I slowed down so I wouldn't run into him when I went. And so I got to the other sidewalk and I kept going. But I had slowed down so I wouldn't run into him, and I was walking behind him. And when I got to the corner, I turned right. And then I got to the next main street, and it's a busy street. So I waited for the traffic, and I remember I saw, I don't know, 5, 7 cars go by, and there was a motorcycle, I remember. And so then I was able to cross the street after that. And then after I cross the street, I always see this clock that's up to the left, and there's a symbol because it's a pharmacy. And so I always see this clock, and I remember that it said 9:51. No, yes, 9:51. It said 9:51. So then I walked, and I knew that when I got to the top of the hill that the other clock would say also 9:51, even though it takes several minutes to walk from one to the other because it always, the times don't match. So it said 9:51, and I remember when I got to the next one, I was surprised that the clock said 9:52. So I remember this specifically because usually it says the same time, and this time it said 1 minute different. So then I walked to the street that was to the left of the clock. Like I always do, I went down the hill. I remember seeing that there was a man who was setting up his cafe tables outside, and he was wearing orange trousers. I remember this day specifically because he was wearing orange trousers, and he looked at me when I walked past. When I got down to the next corner, I remember there were these 2 girls who were coming toward me when I turned, and they were wearing almost the same clothes. I remember them because I thought it was very strange. Why are they wearing the same clothes? So at this point, I had to be like 9:55. At the latest, 9:56, I think. So when I got to the door, I remember that I looked because I always look to make sure no one is there to just see when I put the code in, and no one was standing there. So I put the code in, and then I opened the door, and I went inside, and the door closed behind me. So it couldn't have been any later than 9:56, 9:57 when I got here.